Hello, good morning. Good welcome to another ES Futures trading stream. It seems like today we may have some opportunities today. I am wondering if the theme for the week is the opportunities or are the opportunities being developed during the overnight sessions. That's the one thing I am wondering, especially after the big break that we had on Friday. One of the things that we mentioned here yesterday was the opening, the overnight, the weekly opening down here, but really high volume at this very low. That's the only reason why I have this ellipse here. Right, this one, which actually is this one over here, that it's not longer visible in this chart because this one only has the current overnight. But for cases like this, for times like this, is I had this other one, which I don't use that much, but just to remember about these kind of things, right? That happened here. The histograms I only use for the current session. I don't have more than one session over here. I guess I include the overnight. No, actually I have two sessions here. Today. No, only one session. I have this is the current session and this is the overnight. Alright. And as soon as the one today opens, the one that is there will just go away. And it just kind of void, right? To see what's the arrows, to notice that this one here, this high or this low matches exactly this high here. Just so you see, right? This weekly, the weekend gap, weekend opening gap has been closed, which is something that actually targets the opposite side. And this is not bad volume here that we are having. We are having 500,000 last night. I mean yesterday night and last night we have same amount, right? It seems like it's going to be about same. We are still 10 minutes to the opening and just there. I was wondering, one of the things I was wondering since I came here to my trading desk is what is going to happen with the overnight POC. It actually moved. It actually moved from up here to the lower distribution. That gave us this distribution close here as a potentially significant reference in the upper side. Right? Because this gap, if the market opens down with this non-excess low, would have been close. Would have been close here. Now let me change the color. Right? And I'm paying attention to the following right now as we are heading to the opening. What the market does, notice where saddle is way up here, right? Don't forget about this saddle. Don't forget about the saddle. Don't forget about the saddle here, up here. And where it's settled, Friday. The market is between these two is, I mean, I am just considering this as a part of my main observations for this session, that maybe we may have some sort of resistance or potential destination in the upper side here and the lower side down here. What is the VIX? How much is the VIX now? For example, VIX 21. It's back to 29. Yesterday it went down really fast, in my opinion, right? It went from 20, almost 22, to around 18 in just one session, and that man, that's just not good to me. Now I have this reference here. This is the overnight low from the weekend. Okay, this is the overnight from the weekend. All of these, remember, all of these questionable highs from these periods, from this break, now are being corrected, and that happened yesterday. So whatever happened now is different from yesterday. I don't have any questionable references yesterday in yesterday's profile, other than this low, right? This low, a huge amount of stops in this area, which now has been just imagine this, right? What do we think is going to happen to the longs that are here if the market opens down here? They will be forced to liquidate, right? That's one thing. Now, what happened to all this inventory that got extremely short as well during these days? Just imagine that, right? During this day. I don't think, this is just my personal opinion, right? This is just my personal opinion. I don't think that can happen. All of this rebalancing of the portfolios or whatever can can happen during one session. I'm not saying it's impossible. I actually don't know, but I mean, I give the odds of that happening not being that high. That's just my personal opinion. Okay, so this market may actually need a couple sessions to consider the inventory being rebalanced. I am still, what I'm doing here, and I don't want this to be in the way. I want to have more things on my screen. This is the exact chart I have on one screen. So I just got to let this go and keep watching on the side, on the other screen, right? That high. While I'm watching those trend lines, if there's mechanical trade over there. This has been very, very short time frame trading, I want to see what the market does relative to this gap now, okay? This big red mark that I have here, what is this? I think this is 6650, 6650, what the heck is that? I don't remember what that was. I think that was a breakout, right? 87. This was it. I don't remember, man. I don't remember this now. It was some sort of support resistance that and that's why I make it really wide. Sorry, I don't remember why I have that. There's only 3 minutes before the opening. I'm not going to be streaming here or talking. I may leave this stream up, but I'm not going to be. I want to focus on this market. I'm also checking these weekly highs, right? This weekly reference that I have here. This is another weekly one, and there's a lot of things to monitor here today. One of the things that I'm watching also is the dollar. Gold's making new highs. Crude oil is has breakout runs to the downside. I don't like that. That's not a good sign for the economy. We have Chairman Powell also speaking today at 12:30, 12:20, something like that. They got to be very, very aware. Don't forget about that, right? Because weird things can happen, right? Violent things can happen. I also have maximized, not maximized, but increase the size of this particular chart because I think it is more relevant to have this one. Now, I've noticed that the value area of this day, because it started to rotate in this day, right now this market is between this. We may have a range here, and that's why I have this potential support resistance here, right? That is just one scenario. I'm just trying to use my imagination here. I am not attached or sticked to anything here. Right? I am in the observation phase. If anything happens and I see that there is an opportunity, I consider the risk is low, I may do something. Something that I'm checking is if the market makes an attempt to close the gap, this little distribution here will need to hold. Okay? We need to hold. Because that will imply if this close, the gap is just a couple ticks away from this, the market, and there's a distribution here that is not that big, and the market can also target this upper side if there is some kind of heavy buying here happening. But remember, things are changing in this market. All the have talk about the monthly time frames, weekly time frames, and daily time frames yesterday. They are still in place. They still remain. All right, let's see how this opens. The volume here has been low. I'm worried that this is not attracting too money here. It seems like the market is just trying to get to this moving averages here. We'll see if there's downside continuation towards this low here. The ultimate destination could be this area here. But we'll see. The high is very questionable here. We have some very questionable lows yesterday. Now the same thing is happening now, but this time in the opposite side. We have a gap here. Gap has not been closed. Okay. Gap low. There was no attempt to close the gap. This one is history now. Seems like it's the continuation of Friday, what I'm watching here. Okay, look at this, look at this, look at these guys here. There's something coming here. So the lower it goes, it's starting to attract volume here. That's a good sign, at least for the ES. Let's see if that's replicated in the market overall. Okay. This is the adjusted 50. This is the non-adjusted 50. There's another one here. This is adjusted. This is the ES. This is the current contract 50 SMA, and way down below 65.75. Down here, not that much actually. 75, 76. This is just an average. '50s. Very questionable low here. Overnight low is a 50 SMA. The same thing happened yesterday. Remember, not yesterday, Friday. All right, same thing happened Friday. So these two lows, these three lows are actually, it's an indication of how mechanical the trading is here. And I want to see how far this retraces, okay? Because right now I have, where is this? Where is this? This is here, huh? 2150. 2150. This is current halfback. Current halfback. Let's see how far it retraces. If it retraces too much, that's not a good. That would mean that the market is not as weak as prices are telling. Now we have two areas. This one up here, this one down here. A volume. About same volume here, the same volume here. Right? They're selling, trying to buy from here. This could also mean adding on the lower side. If lower side is attracting volume, now we have kind of like a halfway into the first period, and volume is not going to be higher than yesterday. It's going to be lower than yesterday, actually. So got to be very careful here now. Maybe I will wait until next period. Look at these whites here. Okay. This one is better now. Let's see, 66.40. How much are those 66.40? I'm not saying anything, okay? 60.40, 10 points, 60.74 points. Ooh, look at that. Alright. I want to see more reds and purples coming down here. Remember, it didn't come closer to halfback here. It stayed in this area. Now this is lower, right? It's coming lower. Okay, it's attracting volume. So these are being crushed now. These longs are being crushed now. More volume is coming here. Look at that, right? It's not coming in the retracement when the market make a retrace, but it's why it's going lower. That's quite actually is a difference there. It's pushing lower here. Market didn't care about this, did it? Yeah, it's selling from 6,600. Not a good sign. Now it's selling from the 50 SMA. The first mechanical sell didn't hold. Let's see if this one holds. This selling coming from this one. This has failed. No, it's not failing now. It's coming back inside this range, right? The next thing on the upper side is this 6620. And especially this area here, where it is right now. If this one fails to hold, this one can be the next thing on the upper side. There's a market to the downside. Right? Sell trades will be selling rallies today. You are sure here you don't want the market to take this one out. Yeah. Much less getting closer to this half. Halfback has moved lower. You want it to come back down here. There may be some selling coming from here, right? Any of these previous highs had held. Let's see if this one holds. This is 15th. Some logical selling, if there is short-term trading, may come from this area, from right where this market is right now. Remember, previously it did not come close to halfback. Didn't close to this area here. How are the indices? The indices are, the Dow is an inside day, the Russell is an inside, ES and Nasdaq are to the downside. The 20, what the heck is the 20? 20 is a breakout level actually. This is very important here. Not just it's not just okay. It is not just a 50, but it's a breakout level here. What we have here. It didn't get close to that level. Right? Let's see if the next period gets close to this. We can actually may see some downside. This one is not taken. If this one is not taken, that will mean that this inventory can be challenged, right, and still keep going lower. They're attempting to buy the dips here. They're buying this low here. Now they're selling from hardback, so there could be something towards this area, and then another push. Let's see if there's another push to the downside from this area, especially having in consideration that there's a lot of the whites here. We may have a low now. The market has reached this low here. Now, with this volatility, let's see if there's an attempt to close this gap here. Alright, there's some feeling here. You don't want it to come down here. Because there's some volume here. There might be some push from this area. Okay. So let's see now what I'm trying to see now. They might have made a couple of trades here. I want to see now that if there is an attempt here to close this gap. I have 2 losing trades, 1, 2, 3 losing trades actually, and one in the positive. Okay. Remember, this high is not good here. If the market takes this high, this one, what I want to see if there is some quick upside here towards this gap, or if this just grinds way out. So it's way up, not out. In my opinion, it has come back too much here. It has come back too much up for me to consider that this is really a weak market as much as price want me to believe. Okay, it doesn't mean it cannot go lower. Okay, that doesn't mean that. But it has retraced pretty much. Well, how much is that? Like 90% of the range, and that's significant. I am flat now. Okay, I am flat now. I get a couple shorts. I got 3 shorts, which won't believe those were negative. I was stopped out. I decided to trade options instead. Right? The volatility is just too high now. The stops have to be. I need to modify my stops to accept bigger risk, because markets just can move long distances here without changing the tone of the market, actually. Okay, now that this low has been taken, I wonder, just wonder how far it can come to this up here. Now, if I check my dailies, this is like, it's very questionable, this low here. Huh? My main, remember, in the kind of like a longer term, I am watching how far a market can close. Not on this. If it closes to this low, that will be something, right? How far this can close from this month low, okay? Because the closer to the low it closes, the bigger the odds that there could be a change in the monthly time frame as well, right? Listen to that. Pay attention to that. And also, if this distribution in the monthly time frame actually gets narrower, or even if it's close, okay. And I close the call I have because the market's to the downside. As simple as that. The market's to the downside. If I still don't know the tone of the market. I don't know if this is going to be a trending day. I don't know if it's going to be a rotational day. But I know right now the market is to the lower side. Settle is way up here. Okay, settle. Okay, it's way up here. Okay, so it's to the downside. We have a gap, and everything's pointing to the downside. So having a long here is going against the market. I don't want to be against the market. No, sir, I don't. And the fact that it made this kind of how can I say, it's the market basically sold from the opening, but it was not that convincing from my point of view. Now look at this. Look at how it's drying here. Look how it is drying here. It's quite the opposite than what we have at the opening, huh? Now he's even. Now you have a nice. What I mean when I say it's dry, I'm going to make it here so it doesn't get in the way. That I have something like this, right? Dries. Right now, if I look at the current profile, I actually have something like this, right? This is no more. It's evolving. Now, of course, I'm going to look like a complete idiot because I don't have my call here. I got only one. Okay. When markets do this kind of stuff, then don't. What I wanted to see is, remember I said this quick upside, because sometimes those virulent upsides or downsides actually are a sign to go in the opposite direction. Because right now this market is going lower, right? And a quick upside, it is different having an upside here on B than having it on A. Okay, I wanted that. Remember, there's so many things that are going on at the same time. It's different having it in A and taking this high out, because it's coming from overnight POC, having taken this one out, that would be different, okay, than having it now. Because now, if it happens now, that actually is a change in the tone of the market. Right? That will be a market that is trying to go higher in a day that is to the downside. And what is the immediate reference that I have in the daily, in the intraday time frame? Now I'm looking at these time frames, right? I got it monthly, weekly, daily, and now I'm going into the intraday. If that happens, then my focus switches to the gap. But remember, it has to happen. Okay, I have zero intentions to upfront. I am not going to be long. before it happened. And I learned that. I was explaining it. I was talked about that so many times. I read so many times about that. That just don't up from the market, man. No, this time the market is going to go higher, 300 points, and I ain't going to be riding the wave, right? I'm going to be on top of the rocket, grabbing every tick that this rally has. Because I am already in before it happens. Let's wait until it happens. I'm gonna wait. Notice how this market has stalled now. Okay? Notice how this market has stalled. Many things, couple things here. First, we have this high, right? Coming from this overnight POC. Just look at that. Huh? I hope you can see this. Do you see this? This overnight POC. I'm going to color. I'm going to make it blue. So it is the overnight, right? This is the overnight. This is not good. Now look at the B high where it is. Exactly at the opening. So this is more of the same, more of that we had. There is change, but how can I say this? Nothing has changed, right? Still short-term trading going on. This is not bigger participants in the market. And look at that. Now this high, we have a better high. Okay, now have a better high. Technically it's corrected, that's what I care. Technically the A high has been corrected. Okay. I'm going to open the profiles now. Okay. Technically this gap high is now here. Now my focus switches to if this gap going to be closed, and I don't have anything here. You know, I got that call. It is what it is, right? It's not easy. It's not easy to see the market going in the direction that the position, the last position you had, right? After you have closed. It's not easy. But that is the reset part of the business. Now, there's change in this market. Now we have an auction, an auction that is pointing higher. Okay. Other time, and this was a lie, right? We see what if I am short. What I don't want it to happen. I didn't want the market to come back inside the overnight. I didn't want the market to take this one. I didn't want to coming back to half back. Didn't want the market to come. You have if we were short. If I was short here, I have so many, right? So many chances to close. So many chances to close. And that has to be part of the planning before going into a position, having done my observations, build my plan. Sometimes the time to build a plan goes from seconds to hours, sometimes days. It is what it is. That's what the market gives me. Right? And it's so important to stick to the plan. I have closed my shorts because it didn't develop in the way that my plan said. Okay? Not a single time I was a stop out. I did a stop out. My bad. But I was stop out once. Okay? But the other two I did close because I didn't like what is happening. Okay, and my last trade I also closed it by my own hand. The market didn't stop me out. I did close it, and I have to reset now. Okay, I have to reset now. Now the same. If I am going to how can I say, deliver something out there of what I am doing. Is the same mental process that I have when the market was going lower. Is the same mental process that I'm having now. This time going higher. All that you hear when I was talking when the market was going lower, that's what I'm doing now. Notice there's an important nuance here, right? Like a caveat. The time frame has changed. You know, I was in the very short time frame, right? Before now I have switched to a bigger one. All them inside the intraday time frame. Right? But inside the intraday there are multiple times. Right? If I have, I guess what I can say is I'm going back to what I usually do, right? At the beginning of the stream, I said that there might be some opportunities. I may not be talking much because I want to do something, probably. You know, I did something here, and now let's see what the market does to relative to the gap. That's what I'm watching now. Okay. First, the market needs to deal with this. It seems very insignificant here. This can be important here. This little one here, and this is not. There's nothing here, but the fact that there is a distribution here, like this one here. There's an opening here, for example, and I have this on the upper side because there are some. This is the overnight here. There could be some stops here, right? This one. Notice this one is this one. You go 1, 2, 3, 4, high seal gather. Maybe this one as well. And this area here. If the market reaches this area, and the fuel that finds here, if it happens, is not enough to close this gap, because we have the distribution close, we have the gap here, right? Those two things, right? If it doesn't make it, we can see some rotation here. Doing it so is a sign of upside continuation. But now I am starting to monitor value here, okay? Even though the gap has not closed yet. The gap has not closed yet. I don't know, but this is a rotational market. Even though those two facts, I am going to check. Okay, as I say, I don't know if this is going to be a rotational day. Another thing that I brought from the overnight is these distributions here, right? We got this upside here, one kind of prominent. You can see how prominent it is, right? It's very obvious, right? I got a bunch inventory here and another one here. What happened here, I was here since this, I came here to the market early today around 6 or 7 a.m. because I couldn't sleep, but I watched this thing happening. There is some rebalancing that happened of these shorts here. It didn't happen in its entirely because there is still some here. I consider there are still a lot here from the overnight, but this one here is actually, for me, was a sign of rebalancing. Okay, it looks like short covering. Well, again, always consider time frames here. Time frames, you can, I cannot state how important time frames are, or the relevance time frames. you have any questions or comments, please just let me know. I'm going to leave. I'm going to leave soon. I had to take my daughter. What can be watching, witnessing here can be a rebalancing of the extremely short overnight inventory. I will take a break here. Got to get something to eat. But I guess I'll be coming back here just to watch the screens. Again, man, I don't want to lose track of this reference here. Okay. Some interesting things happening here. The gap has been closed. Well, the gap has been closed. I am still checking the late spike from Fridays. There's light spike here. I'm going to put it here so I can see better. These stops have been taken. The inventory, just check this out. During this overnight and previous day overnight as well, we have about around 450,000, 445,000 today, and yesterday we have 431,000. That's a lot. That's a lot of inventory that we have here. Relative to what usually overnights have, when they're in the lower side, they have less than 100,000. Usually 150, 200,000 if it's a good night. Yeah, but 400,000 is high, you know. 700,000, 1 million is extremely high. There were some occasions that were, but those are very, you can count with one hand the amount of occasions, all the occasions that when that happened during this year or on the past 2 years, for example. Now, we do have potential for trending day. What I am wondering now is if this area here that we have Friday, well, there was significant, really huge amount of trading, can be an area where the market can find a place where two-way trade can take place, you know, meaning that this market may have some upside yet, and maybe not take or not close this upper distribution from here, maybe. And also, considering what happened yesterday in regular trader hours, it won't be crazy to observe the same thing happening today, but this time to the lower side. That's on one hand. All right. Well, forget about that. You know, that happening are decreasing as this market keeps going high. The other thing, what I was going to say something else. What I was going to say. Oh, this is what I was going to, because I am also checking, what is this? You know, I noticed, for example, the weekly is trying to establish itself either above or below this trend. For me, is sometimes it's just as clear as that, simple as that, man. No? Are we going to have something below this trend here? This one here, can you see? 2. I just did this yesterday, I believe. I don't know why, or it's a Friday, I don't know when I put this, but it's just curious to see that today's high is right there, right? Has just got in here. Let's see now. Okay, the market has got back inside this range. If there's acceptance inside this range, or if there's a rejection. Okay, that's one thing. Can you see how different things are coming to play now? The other thing I was watching, and this is what I talk about crude oil, right? Really breaking to the downside, gold making new highs, buying from the 50s and the bonds, but that's not what I want to say. I want to show you how, for example, we have here Nasdaq has come back inside. It's coming back inside previous range, same as the ES. The Russell is actually getting out. Has taken the range is entirely, almost is about to get out of the range. Russell has completed this trade. The Dow is on its way. Right? It may reach, who knows? It seems, no, there also something like this happening on the ES. It's not that bad actually. Not that I am looking at these charts. It was different early in the morning. And that's how important is, you know, to have the ability to reset, to detach from the last trade, whatever the result of the last trade could have been, right? If I have a loss or win, I just have to be able to let it go. Because if no, I will just keep an eye of what could have been, right? And that is, you spend a lot of mental capital doing that. All right. Look at this. This is what I'm talking about in Russia. Yesterday's high is here, has reached it. It has looked below and failed. Now the question is, going to look above and fail? Who the heck knows? The Dow has looked up, obviously has looked below this range as well. Has it? No, it's right there, man. It's right there. I wonder if this can come to this side as well. The session is just starting. Look where Nasdaq is. Nasdaq is right there. And the ES is also right there. It seems to me like most of this movement has to do with this inventory that we have here. No, there's a lot of short inventory here. And wow, this really looks different when you look at it on bar charts. With what happened here yesterday, right? This extremely poor, exponentially weak low has been corrected. Now we have an excess on the lower side relative to yesterday, but if I look the bigger time frame, if I look at weekly for some point, or if I include a couple more days, I will see that Friday is just right there. Right? This is a week low we have here. I have not forgotten how the market struggled when it was up here. Okay? But one of the first observations, right? Remember what we said, right? We had, if I was short, I just had so many chances here, so many chances to get out of the trade. Every single information that was coming in or was being delivered by the market through my screens was, okay, this is not working, this is not working. Every single level was being taken, the movement was going higher and higher. Okay, there's some struggle that started here. The last piece of information was, the retracement was close to 89% of the downside. And that's not a sign of a weak market. Right? Now that we can see the market going higher, that's easy to say. Right? But what could have happened, or what could have been thinking right now if the market is going lower or was going lower? Okay, still, the same data applies and the same information applies. Market is not as weak as prices are telling. Right? Now this one has been closed. Okay. Now let's focus. Now I'm going to focus now in this distribution that you can see here. Right? The obvious reference is up here. If the market cannot take this one, this high out, the next thing would be closing the distributions. All right, I got to go now. Not so dry here. Level 6. This is something good for this period, at least. Just for this period. I have seen a lot of this in this period here. Still, all right. I have to go. I'm leaving the trading desk. I hope I can see you tomorrow or another day. Have a wonderful rest of the day. Stay safe. Bye bye.